Hello everyone, and welcome to Inside the Booth. I'm Danny Levkovich, and joining me is Ryan Candia. Across Warwick Valley Television's YouTube channel, there has been a lot of coverage on our team's athletics. What happens in every game that we cover, and who commentates it? Ryan has been featured in a lot of those games over the years. Hello, Ryan.
Danny Lups, QB1
What's up?
2.0. Great to see you, buddy.
Nice to have you on the show. My first question for you is, how much preparation does it take to go into these games and be ready to commentate?
Well, first of all, I'm a fake commentator, fake broadcaster. In real life, I'm an educator, teacher, and coach.
Yes.
So it's always a privilege when Warwick Valley Television comes up to me, Daniel comes up to me and says, hey, do you want to broadcast this game? Hopefully it fits into my schedule. I like doing it. I've been partnered with a lot of people over the years. Stephen Melling, Ted Theodore Money. What am I blanking on his last name? Teddy, who's now working in Alabama. And it's always fun to do. Broadcasting is fun. And there's two aspects. There's play-by-play. There's color analysis. And it's great when you get to, do a football game that you play in.
Exactly.
Or do a basketball game for a student athlete you have in class. Or just be a part of the greater Warwick Valley community and help out. It's a lot of fun. I think you got to bring energy to it. And it just makes you feel like a different part of teaching, like extend the classroom into helping out with sports, broadcasting, being a stakeholder outside of the classroom. And it's a lot of fun. What got me into it is I love sports. I coach sports. And when students couldn't do it, Dan comes up to me and says, hey, do you want to broadcast? And, if I can fit into my schedule, I usually say yes. And I like doing it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember when I first commentated, it was for the women's girls game. I was really stressful at the beginning, so that leads me to say, were you really stressful when you were doing it for your first time?
Well, I speak in front of people a lot, but it's different. You got to feel out your partner. Are you doing play-by-play? Are you doing color? Some coaches love getting questions asked to them. Some don't. So the research you do, you can go on Max Preps. You can maybe hit local papers, timesloudrecord.com. I would flag down kids in the hallway, whether it be girls basketball, football, boys basketball. Hey, who are you playing against? Kingston, Wallkill. Is it a good team? Is it a bad team? Is it a team that you think if you make the playoffs you will face against? What's the game plan? What's the strategy? You got to meet with the other broadcaster and see who's doing the play-by-play, who's doing the color, how are we going to do the intro, how are we going to do the outro, how do we segue into commercials? That's important. Sometimes, you get into the game, you forget to say, end of the first quarter.
Exactly.
Warwick Valley Television will take a break. We'll be right back after these commercial messages. Things like that, sometimes you forget, especially when you're a rookie. So it kind of like the rhythm comes, the iambic pentameter comes, and you get it's a feel. You got to feel it out.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. But my second question is, a lot goes into the preparation and what you do before and what you're going to say, but, what goes on during the game?
Anything can happen during the game. I mean, if you're a color commentator, you want to be energetic. So it'll be like, Dane Lefkovich rolls out, he finds the wide receiver in the flat. Incomplete, and you're like, oh man, that would have set up Warwick for a nice first down there and control the ball, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I went negative on you. Usually it's positive.
Yeah.
So things like that, the flow of the game. When I did basketball the first time, I wasn't focusing on the screen in front of you. You're supposed to look at the screen because you're right on top of the court like this. And your eyes, you want to do this. You want to bob and weave. You want to follow the ball. But you are talking to the audience who is watching on TV or watching on the YouTube stream. And so you got to talk to what's happening on that monitor. And that was kind of tough to adjust to, but I got used to it. And sometimes you have to go off the monitor. And like I said, you got to feel who you're working with. Are you working with somebody who likes to talk a lot? Are you the person that's talking too much? Is there a feel? Do you let it breathe when you're supposed to let it breathe? Do you kind of fill in time? Let's say the shot is going to a coach's huddle in a critical moment of the game, and you say, what is the coach thinking? What do you think he's advising? What's the strategy here at the end of this contest? Things like that kind of happen. You don't realize they're happening, and you got to flow with the game.
So with my third question, I'd like to just ask a quick follow-up. So there's been many games where I've been in where it's like, that's a really good game, but what is your favorite game, like that you've ever color commentated or commentated, just to maybe, get your memory jogging? The
Wow,
Pine Bush game,
I'm
the
trying
homecoming
to-
game. There's a lot of games for even football or basketball. What was your
I did a game with Landon this year. I haven't done it in a while, and it was the first time I was working with Landon, and Landon was usually working solo. It was a really good game when it was back and forth between girls basketball, Warwick versus Pine Bush, and I thought the Lady Wildcats were the better team, but they were losing, and they came back to win it at the end, and that was a lot of fun. Working with Landon was good. Landon's really into it. I think he, in the beginning, wasn't used to working with a color commentator because he did a lot of games on his own. But it was fun to get back into it. I remember years ago doing a Kingston versus Warwick girls basketball game. Kingston away. They came into the Mazzetti Gymnasium and faced us. That was a lot of fun. I made some mistakes on that. It's funny. Some people watch us on YouTube and they're just happy that the game's being broadcast. So they don't really look for mistakes. But if you're critical of yourself, you want to get better. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? How can I make this better? And I actually look for that when I'm watching a professional broadcast. Like, what are these guys doing right? What are they doing wrong? Are they comfortable in front of the camera? Are they looking at the right angle? Things like that. But I remember the Kingston-Warwick game years back was fun. It was a girls' basketball game. I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, there's definitely been many Warwick games that you guys should go and watch. Although, I have another question.
Sure.
What is the difference between play-by-play and color commentary? Not the AI version. I want your version of it.
I'm not an AI guy. I'm having a tough time adapting to the AI world, actually. So the play-by-play is like, in the paint, kicks out to the three-point line. You're calling exactly what happens, and you're kind of straight-laced. The color analysis is going to add life, is going to add a vivid, what's the word, be a little more, vital. Vital means like a lifeline. You want to, what's the word I'm looking for? Add life and entertainment, personality. Yeah. Bring up stories about the athletes.
Exactly.
Bring up analogies. Maybe project when a big moment happens, like 3-point play. Things like that. You really want to add color and analysis and life to the broadcast. For the average person who might not know about the game.
How does emotions play into being a color commentator or play-by-play? Because we see it all around. I watch the NBA. I really like the Charlotte Hornets announcer. He gets really lively into it. He's like, LaMelo Ball for 3, bang! Like,
exactly.
He has a lot of life. He's animated to it. So, in your opinion, what does emotions have to do with most of this?
Well, I think we're Warwick Valley Television, so we obviously want the Wildcats to win every contest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But you do sometimes have to be level-headed and even-keeled. Think about like Michael Kay when a Yankee hits a home run. See ya! He has a call. Sometimes you have a home run call. Sterling, who retired from the Yankees, used to be, for A-Rod, he'd be like, an A-bomb by A-Rod. So you have certain calls that you do. I think it's okay for students, teachers on Warwick Valley Television calling athletic contests to be a little homer. Because, you work here. You have pride in the community. You want people to watch these things. You want them to get a lot of hits on YouTube when they're streaming these games. And, you just got to, be into it. And I think the color and analyst can have a lot more fun than the play-by-play. Because the play-by-play is just calling the action as he or she sees it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I remember another show that you guys should go watch, Warwick versus the Goshen Gladiators. That was the girls varsity game. I remember being, the color commentator with Landon, and the side that the color commentator brings it's just something completely different. Like when Landon doesn't have something to say, because he's calling play-by-play. So when the ball goes out of bounds, you have to, like you said, tell stories, stuff that the average person doesn't know sitting on the sideline or sitting in the stands. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Maybe if the camera shots on the audience, you could talk about who's in the audience, the sign they're holding up. It's a whiteout night. There's so-and-so from period 8 algebra.
Exactly.
I did not expect to see them at this game.
Yeah, because then those people look at it, they're like I want to watch this again. I want to learn more about the people, and the game was great. So
they might want to pick out the spot where they are.
Exactly. They're going to look at themselves and be like, that was me.
I have this story really quick. I took my son to a Jet game in December, not this season, the past season, and they were cheap tickets because the Jets were awful. They were playing the Rams. We needed the game to get into the playoffs. I think we were 4 rows up in the end zone. I said, Jack, I'm going to wear a Santa suit. Yeah. I wore a Santa suit. I got a lot of comments as I
lot of
was
comments,
walking
yeah.
into MetLife Stadium. My buddy texted me from Buffalo. Rye, I think I saw you on TV. You wearing a Santa suit? And it was me. Yeah, it was skinny Santa.
Yeah.
Doing this, waving right to the camera. I knew the camera was on me. I was doing this. And I still have never seen that. My friends have seen it. Nobody taped it. I think it was December 22nd, 2024. So we can get the broadcast of that game. But I definitely was on, the CBS broadcast or whoever broadcast that NFL game when the LA Rams came to town and beat the Jets. And the Rams need that game to get in the playoffs.
Were you a green Santa, like for the Jets, or?
No,
like,
I didn't like green Santa, JETS.
So
just
red,
MCs
you spotted
in
it out, yeah.
I had this traditional suit, which I've had for a long period of time. Yeah, I used to break it out more, not only for special occasions like Jet games. They're special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I would like to wrap this up with, thank you, Ryan, for joining us today. Next time, watch a sports game, Warwick Valley Television or not. Make sure you appreciate what they put in beforehand. I've been your host, Daniel Lupkovich, and this is Inside the Booth.